Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'm April Knight and you're watching News 2 Week in Review. Topping our stories tonight, for years and years, the Virgin Islands Carnival Committee, which is in charge of the St. Thomas Carnival, has resisted attempts by the Senate to look more closely at its financials. Recently, however, lawmakers have made clear that they've run out of patience, essentially telling its executive director at a budget hearing on Monday to go back to the office and get the requested documents. But one lawmaker is already proposing legislation that would strip the Carnival Committee of its funding and perhaps change the management structure of the annual tradition for all three islands. And she says that the documents submitted on Monday are not enough. Here's more.
Frustration between the Senate and the Virgin Islands Carnival Committee peaked on Monday after testifier Halvard Hart, who serves as executive director of the Virgin Islands Carnival Committee, failed to provide complete financial records to lawmakers. Instead, Mr. Hart only provided records for the 2018 $545,000 the committee received from the government of the Virgin Islands, even as the VI Carnival Committee's gross total was $837,369.01, leaving an uncounted difference of $292,369.01. Senators were fuming because it was only June that the Committee on Workforce Development, Consumer Affairs and Culture had subpoenaed the Carnival Committee after it failed to provide detailed accounting information and the no-show of key Carnival Committee members.
This has been a persistent problem since I was a child in elementary school. So when I got here, the intent was not to have a war with the Carnival Committee, but actually to see how we can really amp up our Carnival product and add to diversifying our economy through throwing parties, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Because people travel the world, Carnival has become a big industry. So we asked them in January to disclose their finances. They appeared before us January 30th. There was no documentation. They came back again. We had the back and forth of when they were supposed to appear, and they canceled the day before, and then when they came back again in July, there was still no finances. So it's been an uphill battle.
The VICC wasn't the only committee defending its financials. The St. John Festival and Culture Organization and the St. Croix Crucian Carnival Organization both indicated their willingness to provide any information the senators required, but are also under criticism.
There is apparent lack of fiscal management. The St. Croix Festival Committee is the same. For example, the St. Croix Festival Committee, according to their documentation, spent $32,000 to bring Destra on a charter flight. Cass charter flight as well was $32,000, and then Cass the band airfare for some members was about $9,500. So they performed the same night, and 32 plus 32 plus 9. You're trying to tell me you're spending close to $70,000 or $80,000 to bring that amount of artists here? What charter flight cost $32,000 from Trinidad to the Virgin Islands?
According to documents, there were other questionable expenses. On February 15, 2018, there was a child support payment of $2,100. On that same day, Mr. Hart received a payment of $26,229. On February 20th, there was a $20,000 transfer, and then the next day, VICC paid American Express $20,000. With all this money flying around, the senators see the importance of accountability and hope very soon the Senate can do something about it.
It's unconscionable for me as a not a taxpayer, I'm a taxpayer, but a senator. I'm a custodian of government funds.
Yeah.
And it would be irresponsible of me to willingly go up and vote and allocate money to those committees. So we have, on September 21st, we're going to hear the bill on Carnival to establish a festival arts division within the Department of Tourism.
For News 2, this is James Gardner.
The Committee on Workforce and Economic Development and Culture are meeting again on September 21st, giving the Carnival and Festival Committees some time to gather the receipts, invoices, and contracts to back up their budget report. We'll keep you updated. Well, after some disruption at election board meetings, including walkouts by St. Croix board members that threatened to delay the certification, the results of the 2018 primary elections are finally certified, and the candidate standings have not changed at all. Albert Bryan and Tregenza Roach still remain the Democratic nominees with 3,331 votes. Now let's look at the Senate numbers. On St. Thomas, Donna Fred Gregory still leads the Senate race with 3,048 votes. Marvin Blyden, an incumbent, comes next with 2,557 votes. And Athniel Bobby Thomas follows with 2,299 votes. The rest of the slate is comprised by incumbent Senator Myron Jackson, Stedman Hodge Jr., Carla Joseph, and incumbent Gene Ford. On St. Croix, Alicia Barnes was the top vote getter with 2,651 votes, followed by another newcomer, Allison de Gazon, with 2,328 votes. Incumbent Senators Kurt Viale and Novell Francis tied for the third spot, followed by Javon James, Kenneth Gittens, and Oakland Benta. In the senator-at-large race, Stephen Payne still leads with 3,482 votes. Meanwhile, throughout the territory's hurricane recovery, William Vogel of the Federal Emergency Management Agency served as coordinator for the Virgin Islands, helping to manage federal programs for hurricane-stricken Virgin Islanders. Now, Vogel's time here has come to an end, and he will be replaced by Christopher Hartnett. Hartnett was in charge of Hurricane Sandy recovery efforts in New Jersey, overseeing more than 200 FEMA employees and contractors helping out with New Jersey's hurricane recovery efforts. Mr. Hartnett has already begun his duties in the territory and is located on St. Croix. The Virgin Islands Economic Development Authority also has a new chief executive officer. Governor Mapp made the announcement on Thursday. Kamal Latham, whose job is to bring new investment and opportunities to the territory, has close to 20 years of combined experience, according to Government House, in various roles, including as Fortune 500 advisor and entrepreneur and as a U.S. diplomat. Latham has a master's degree in public policy from Harvard University and a Bachelor of Arts in political science and history from Temple University. Governor Mapp said he's looking forward to working with Latham. Now, before Kamal Latham, Wayne Biggs acted as CEO of the Economic Development Authority, and when he presented his budget in this year's budget process at the Senate, some senators expressed their support for him to continue serving in that capacity. Back in June, the Senate also overrode the governor's veto of a bill that removes the governor from the process of hiring or firing a CEO or assistant CEO for the EDA. Well, for the first time ever in the history of the Virgin Islands, the legislature now owns a permanent home on the Big Island. In the last week, Senate President Myron Jackson and Senate Vice President Nellie O'Reilly, they announced that the Senate has purchased number 20 Estate Golden Rock for $975,000. Senate leadership hopes that they can finish the needed renovations within 6 to 7 months in time for the swearing in of the 33rd legislature. The Senate's Executive Director Toya Malone, however, is leaning toward caution, saying he gives it an extra month. Malone projects that the Senate can move into the new facility by February next year. Malone stressed that they are in the very early stages of the renovation process. Here's more from lawmakers.
Well, we are so excited that finally we have a place that we can call home. We have been working from 2 different locations since the hurricanes, and our employees deserve a building, a place that they can call home. And so we are looking forward to new beginnings at a new location where people can come to the institution and be proud of not just the Senate, but what the building will signify for the community of St. Croix. All the construction that will take place and the history that will continue to be made in the halls of the legislature of St. Croix.
And it pained us really greatly to have to move out of Frederiksted. We explored the options that we had of trying to locate a building for our relocation. We even attempted to ask the executive branch, the Office of the Governor, for assistance. That was turned down, and we found property in Christiansted and relocated after Hurricane Irma after Hurricane Maria on St. Croix.
Coming up next, highlights from the Chili Cook-Off, a major donation to the University of the Virgin Islands, and our Pet of the Week comeback. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The University of the Virgin Islands announced a generous donation recently from Diageo USVI in the amount of $250,000 to support its process technology degree program. According to UVI, the donated funds will be used for scholarships and to support research, especially in the areas of energy and water management. The university says it will allow them to maintain a hands-on on-campus lab. It will also be used to employ 2 students as Captain Morgan Fellows. Those students will work in simulation labs that are focused on energy and water management projects. Here's more from UVI's announcement.
We wanted to invest in something that we thought would help to support the efforts that are needed to ensure a more resilient energy grid, water systems, and so forth. And it fell right in line with the kind of research and work that the university is doing, and also falls right in line with sustainability goals that Diageo has from a global basis. And so we came together and developed a great project that we think will be useful for many, many years to come. We think that the work that will be done by these students is going to help them thrive. We're looking forward to seeing their great ideas with respect to energy and water management, and we're really just looking forward to them succeeding in their programs.
This school has a world-class staff. They really care about the students, and what this donation will ensure is that we have the hands-on technology to take our education to the next level.
Well, if you didn't get to make it out for the 34th Texas Society Annual Chili Cook-Off last Saturday, don't worry, we have the highlights and the winners. Now, this event is hosted by the Texas Society of the Virgin Islands, and this year it had 41 participants. This year's theme was VI Chili Strong, highlighting resilience after Hurricanes Irma and Maria. Let's take a look at the winners. In the small show competition, Not My First Rodeo captured first place with Ocean Safari in second and Doghouse Pub in third place. Heidi's Honeymoon Grill placed first in large show. Denise Freguela Real Estate placed second, and Pomerosa placed third. Donald Pomeranz's Vegetarian Chili won first place in that category, while Marlene Dickius and Heidi Erwig placed second and third, respectively. Now here's event organizer Eric Ackerson, who gave News 2 a tour of the event.
Welcome all. We're here at the 34th Annual Texas Society of the Virgin Islands Chili Cook-Off. We've been doing this 34 years, doing it for charity and fun. People have been coming for years, getting excited, dressing up in costume, getting in the character of the things. We got 2 bars, we got t-shirts, we have great music all day. $2 a park, $3 for a beer. It's all for local beneficiaries. Every dollar stays on St. Thomas. And every once in a while, you're lucky enough to have a team made up of all past champions that come out of the blue them every year to support and compete.
Wouldn't miss it in the world.
Rotary Club East, Rotary Club of St. Thomas East, show up every year to cook chili. Channel 2.
Hi, Channel 2. I'm Tim, president of Rotary East. We're here giving away chili and giving away our water filters over there. So trying to do good things for the community. Come and join us.
We're here to celebrate our community, celebrate our friends and neighbors, and have a great time.
Congratulations to the winners. Now, many of you probably know My Brothers Workshop for their efforts to help at-risk and high-risk youth. You've heard about their carpentry workshop up in Tutu, teaching young men and women how to build things, and their bakery downtown, also staffed by their students. You know them from their efforts to help people after the hurricanes. But did you also know that My Brothers Workshop is also a high school, and not one that provides a GED? They're an actual accredited high school, and on Saturday they graduated 18 students. Here's more.
Actually, a lot of places like the military won't even accept people with GEDs or night school diplomas anymore, so it was very important for us to find a program that had an accredited designation and that it was an actual high school diploma and not just a GED. It started in late November 2 years ago, and so we were able to kind of create a program where the trainees come in the afternoons after their vocational training, and they take their courses online. They can have assistance through our tutors that are there at the office, but the majority of the work is done by them, and then they have to submit a writing sample at the end to graduate. And so we are very proud to announce that we had our first 18 graduates happen on Sunday. The students are very proud and happy. I think it was very special for family and friends also to come, because we had over 200 people attend the ceremony, and to watch the trainees taking photos with their families, you know, their moms and their brothers and sisters jumping in and having their actual diplomas. It was very special.
Congratulations to the graduates. Now, for a long time, News 2 has brought you our Pet of the Week segments, where we feature dogs and cats and other critters from the local Humane Society that are up for adoption for families who are ready for new and furry additions. We're happy to tell you we're bringing back Pet of the Week, and we're starting with not one, but two dogs who arrived at the shelter together and have become best friends. Their names, Pablo and BVI. Here's more.
Hi, we've got Pablo here and his friend BVI. They're both about 1.5 years old. We've had them here for a couple of months. Very, very super friendly, super energetic dogs. They would love to be adopted together. BVI here is an escape artist, so she'd be going to a home that either has a really well-fenced yard or has an ability to be indoors and then out and walked on a leash. But they are super sweet dogs, very friendly with other animals. They would be a great pair to add to your house.
If you or anyone you know might be interested in the Pets of the Week that we feature here on our show, call the Humane Society at 775-0599 or visit www.hsstt.com. As a reminder, the Humane Society also has a free spaying and neutering program that you can take advantage of at no cost to you. Coming up next, some news from St. Lucia surrounding a local hospital. Plus, we have your weekend entertainment and your News 2 AccuWeather forecast. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Turning our attention overseas, in St. Lucia, a proposal to turn a local hospital into a medical institution has some strong opponents. The St. Lucia Labour Party is protesting not just the privatization and the conversion of the hospital, but the state of St. Lucia's healthcare system. Don Nicholas reports.
Prime Minister Alan Chasney announced on Monday a proposal to turn the Owen King EU Hospital into a tertiary-level medical institution, meaning that patients will no longer have to travel overseas to access special services. From day one, the St. Lucia Labour Party vehemently opposed the privatization of the hospital, and this latest development has not made any difference. To this end, the party has organized a march on September 9th, which starts at VG and ends on the Castries Market steps.
We need to stop this government. We need to send a clear signal that the people of St. Lucia cannot take it anymore. Therefore, on September the 9th, we'll assemble on the VG playing field and march to the market steps to send a collective statement to the government that we cannot take it anymore.
Constitutional reform was also high up on the SLP's agenda. The party says, contrary to the Prime Minister's statement, which seems to suggest that the SLP is unwilling to sit and discuss the issue, it is more than happy to do so. Oversized constituencies has been a bone of contention. The Labour Party also raised the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College controversy. It described the Prime Minister's statement that his government was being generous by continuing to contribute the annual $15 million subvention to the institution as absurd. In the party's view, the government is obligated to do so and is not doing the school a favour.
The Prime Minister is of the view that the government is being generous to Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. This is an absurdity. Truth is, the government is not meeting its full obligation to Sir Arthur Lewis Community College.
The St. Lucia Labour Party also took issue with the Prime Minister's comment that the college was not paying any rent. The party says it has never heard of any government school paying rent before. For the DBS News World, I am Don Nicholas.
As we promised, we have a little preview to your weekend entertainment. Jamaican comedian and actor Oliver Samuels is in the territory and brought his show Frenemy. That's happening at the UVI Sports and Fitness Center this Saturday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Samuels is known as the Jamaican King of Comedy, and we quickly found out why when he stopped by the studio to tell us all about his show.
Frenemy is about these two men who have been friends from infant school, right? It transcends culture, it transcends religion and whatever. It's a really wonderful show, and I really would love all of my people in St. Thomas to come and see it, because it's going to be a discussion for quite a while, and it is going to be an enjoyable discussion. When I became a little older, I went to a movie, and something happened at that movie. It was raining in the movie. Now the movie house had zinc roof on it, and so it felt as though it was really raining outside. At the end of the movie, when I went outside, I said to my brother, "This is so strange. It was raining inside so hard, and out here is so dry." And he said to me, "A flim, you idiot, you." And that is the magic of the silver screen that hit me. And from that day I said, I want to become an actor. I want to share in that magic. Virgin Islanders, look here to me now. Oliver Samuels is here. Oliver Samuels, Valier Maffey Johnson, remember Tiffin Maffey? Yes, Dennis Titus, and Audrey Dancehall Queen Reed. We are truly here, because I know that you were expecting me from yesterday, but plane left way. But we are here today, and we are ready to give you 2 hours of solid, clean, wholesome family entertainment tomorrow, right down there at the gymnasium, I think. And so we're expecting, as usual, your 100% participation. Come, we're ready, we're dire, and we want to laugh and make our belly just feel good.
Alrighty. Yeah. There you go. We hope you can make it out. Let's take a look at the weather with your News 2 AccuWeather forecast.
Good evening, Virgin Islands. We are looking at that trade flow to continue here across the U.S. Virgin Islands, as well as down into the leewards. Not a whole bunch of moisture as we have been experiencing, just brief showers, and out towards the Caribbean. We're going to notice not a whole bunch of deep tropical moisture coming in for the next few days. Here's a closer look at the satellite. We are going to be looking at some brief showers trying to press through. You can see those puffy clouds there. That's going to be our best chance to get some moisture in for tonight. We'll be dropping down to 80 degrees, patchy clouds, and once again looking at some brief showers passing through the islands. Tomorrow we'll be warming up in the upper 80s for St. John, partial sunshine. And then as we continue into St. Thomas, we'll be looking at a high in the upper 80s. topping off in the lower 90s in St. Croix. Once again, partial sunshine, brief showers. Not looking at a washout situation for your Saturday. As we take you into the marine forecast, the Atlantic waves are running up to 4 feet here. Winds out of the east 10 to 15 knots, and on the Caribbean side looking quite the same. And at this time, we don't have any cautions in place, but the trade winds are a bit on the moderate side, so something to keep in mind. You'll feel that breeze for sure. Now, as we head into your extended forecast, we are going to be looking at showers and spots for your Sunday. Once again, not a whole bunch of moisture moving through. Now, as we head into your early week, you have a better chance for a tropical wave to move through, bringing a bit more robust in terms of moisture across the Virgin Islands. So afternoon showers going to be likely here on Tuesday, and then plenty more clouds likely on Wednesday as well, and topping off at 90 for your Wednesday. Not looking at any organized systems to come through to bring any heavy downpours. We don't have enough moisture in the upper atmosphere at this time. So enjoy your weekend. Just be sure to know that we're going to have a few spotty showers around, topping off in the upper 80s.
Thank you for that, and that's it for our show tonight. Make sure you follow us on Facebook at News2VI or Instagram at TV2USVI. We want to hear from you, so tag us on any stories you want to see on the news or send us a message on Messenger. You can also email us at newsdirector@tv2.vi. Thanks again for joining us on News 2 Week in Review. I'm April Knight. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful weekend.